What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the One More Thing podcast. And today's one is going to be a little bit same but different lah. Okay, it's different for me because this time I did not write a script. So usually I have a long script of kind of like exactly what I want to say, but today I wanted to challenge myself a little bit and kind of just say things at the top of my head. So I only have pointers on my phone. So usually I have like my laptop or iPad in front for the whole notes. So it's only in points. So I really just am using my phone to run through what I want to run through. Yeah, so let's get it. Today's episode is gonna be about the things that have essentially changed my life, or I won't say changed lah. Okay, it's a very big word. Yeah, change, like gotta go from one thing to the other thing. I think it's just more of things that improved my quality of life and things that, yeah, hopefully might help you as well if you are chasing that optimal lifestyle kind of vibes. Like you want to get the best out of life, or you want to be more productive, or you want to get more things done. I think these are things that you can try to incorporate. It takes time to kind of make it into a natural thing for yourself. So yeah, let's just get to it. I have, I think, six or seven. Yeah, so let's get into it. This is things that changed my life. So first one, this is something that I have mentioned before in one of my previous episodes. It's about diversifying your existential investment. So it is essentially finding different areas where you can involve yourself in, so you don't just become one particular thing, or you're not so consumed by one particular path or passion or activity, right? So what I mean is, for a long time after I graduated from poly, my whole life has just been about dance, right? So whether it's about dance, like personally going to dance and competing and going for classes, or even my job as a dance coach. So the way I looked at it was very dance focused. And when I look back, what I realized is the highs would be very high, but then lows will be very low. And usually when you are in that low point, it's kind of hard to pick yourself back up, because you only have that one thing going on for you in your life. And yeah, it's hard to find positivity from something that is negative at the moment, if that makes sense. And so what I heard, okay, so this is from, I took this advice from not took this advice, actually I did this unconsciously. Then when I heard this term, it kind of made sense of what I had been doing for myself. So this term is diversifying your existential investment, right? So I heard it from Tim Ferriss. He's an author. He's he has many great things. And essentially what it means is, like I said before, just picking different things where you can invest yourself in, so you're not just, putting all your money on one aspect of life, and if that doesn't work, then you're screwed, right? There's nowhere else for you to pick up from or take from to carry that other failed thing up from. Get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So again, this is something that I did not know I was doing, but I don't know since when I started to explore more things outside of dance. So things like running, right? So I've been running for a year I have like dived more into the coaching aspect of dance. So for me right now, I actually don't really see coaching as dance, because it really is a very different thing, right? So I can be a good dancer, doesn't mean I can be a good coach. I can be a good coach, and that doesn't mean that I am a good dancer. So it is different things, and if I split that into two different things, well, number one, it makes it more clear of the discipline that you are pursuing and working on, and also it gives you different specifics to focus on and to judge yourself based on. So for example, if I did a bad choreography, does not mean that I failed to be a good coach. I could still have delivered that choreography and taught it well, just that the choreography maybe was the problem, right? Or I could have a super great choreography, but I did not coach it well, and thus it did not work out. So diversifying your existential investment, what it does is it essentially gives you different pockets in your life where you can, borrow some positivity from, and maybe not weigh yourself down from any negative things that happened. Weigh yourself down too much. It's good to be weighed down because it gives you that motivation to go forward. But if that is the only thing you feel, then it's tough to go forward. And so recently I also started to take up more responsibilities outside of dance and coaching. And I think it is a good thing for everyone to try to explore investing your energy and commitment into different things, so that you are not just one thing. You're not like all consumed with that one thing, and if that thing does well, you feel good. If that thing doesn't go well, you feel like trash. Having many things makes it possible such that if one thing does badly and you're still able to do well in something else, it does not take that much of a toll on you, because you can still be happy about that one other aspect of your life that is going great, as compared to that one that is maybe hitting an obstacle. So again, another example is if I have tough days in coaching and dance, right? Sometimes on that same period, I would hit like my personal best in my runs, or maybe I find another breakthrough in something else that I'm doing separate from running or dance. So it does not feel too down. It makes me feel like I'm still able to do things. It puts it more to perspective that maybe it is just this moment for that particular area in my life that is struggling. So it's a little bit more self-sustaining in that sense. Okay, so that's the first one that I think can also change everybody's life. Don't be too invested in one thing. Next one is very important for me, and it is spending more time alone and undistracted. So this is one thing that also kind of made my quality of life a lot better. I'm an introvert. Everybody knows that. I think if you don't know that, then I just think we don't know each other that well enough. But I am a very introvert. So being alone actually is also not very surprising. But what I mean about spending more time alone is not just in relation to company with others, right? So with friends, with family, with physical people. It's just really alone, without your phone, without a book, without a podcast, without listening to anything. Just you yourself alone, and in your head trying to figure out things. So that's what I mean by one, alone, and number two, not distracted. Because ultimately, as much as you can portray like, you know, phones as like, oh, it's an information resource, you know, and like watching shows as like, oh yeah, it's you know, part of your self-care routine and everything. Ultimately it is still distractions, because it does not, it pulls you away from yourself. In this aspect, I'm talking about being with yourself, right? It pulls you away from being yourself because you are now invested in something else. Imagine like your phone as another person. It is that kind of mindset. And so if you are more alone, you understand a bit more about yourself, and then things just start to pop up here and there, and when you start to notice it, you basically just learn more about yourself. So you understand what your thoughts are like, what do they actually say about your state at the moment, some of the worries that you are currently, you know, ruminating about, things that you are unsure about, and all those little like maybe not so pleasant things, and also maybe some of the pleasant things like happy memories that you are cycling through in your head. And what that does is it essentially connects you with yourself, with your emotions, with your state of being. So when you are exposed to back to the real world, you know, with everything, your phones and everything, right? You are able to regulate yourself a little bit more, because you have either unloaded the things from the past, because you already like went through one cycle of like, oh yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, ting ting ting, and then maybe you find like a little light bulb moment where it resolves that issue, or even just by sitting in that feeling of what you felt before, like if it's like shame or like regret or like anger, sometimes just sitting in that emotion helps you to chip away at it, and then you don't bring those emotions forward as intensely, and that helps you interact with your surroundings in the future with a little bit more objectivity, because you're not carrying so much baggage, or the baggage is not as heavy as it once was. And also maybe you even start to understand your patterns of your behavior and your thought processes, like, oh, this is what I usually think, this is the first thing I always think of. It's always very negative, it's always very this or that, it's always very condescending, it's always very narcissistic. So when you are responding to something, you are able to catch it faster, because you know that's what happened. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you just learn more about yourself, and I think that improves your quality of life, because it is you. Your quality of life is not dependent on how people treat you, because how people treat you is just how people treat you. You can't control that. You can only control yourself in relation to your quality of life. So yeah, just be around yourself more. Try to stay away from drama and unnecessary content. Schedule time to just sit with yourself. No phones, no whatever stimulus from outside, and then just sit with your thoughts and feelings. Yeah, so that's number 2. Number 3, this one is a little bit more random, but this actually did improve my quality of life, and more particularly my quality of sleep. And I am not sponsored, but basically I just started using, or not started using, I used it for a while, like these breathe right nose strips. So they are essentially kind of like bandages with a hard plastic in between, and you just put it on your nose, and then it sorts of like opens up your airways so you can breathe better. So for me, I snore a lot, and snoring is usually because of like blocked airways and yeah, that kind of stuff. So having your airways open more lets you sleep a lot better. The better you sleep, the better your day is gonna be, basically, because you have more energy, you are more rested, and yeah. So yeah, if you feel like maybe sometimes you have bad sleep, maybe you can try it. Yeah. So it is no strips. The one I get is I always get it from Amazon, because I don't know, I've seen Breathe Right like before, but I've tried to find it around in like Watsons and Guardian. I cannot find it, so just nice I have Amazon. So yeah, Breathe Right, no strips, helps you sleep better, and then your next day gets more productive because you feel more rested and you can get more stuff done. So just a random thing. So that improved my life as well. Next one, number 4. Okay, number 4. Okay, this one is a big one. Okay, this is eliminating time and mind eaters. So what I mean about that, time and mind eaters. So like, what's that word? Like menial things that you don't realize take up a lot of your time, number 1. And number 2, it takes up a lot of your brain energy. And again, it's very menial and very like unimportant things in life. I'll give you 2 examples. Number 1, what to eat for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast. The amount of time we spend thinking about it. I mean, if you were like me last time, like I really cannot decide. And the amount of energy it takes you to actually think, because you have to think of options like, okay, if I eat this, do I really want to eat that? You gotta think of like, okay, is this what I need for my nutrition? And then like, oh, I had this the other time. Is this the right time to do it again? Is it the right time to eat it again? And then, you know, you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like for example, if you all go out to eat with your friends, you're like, what do you want to eat? And it becomes like a whole 15-minute to 20-minute conversation. This is what I mean. It takes up your time and your energy. Like as little as it does, it still takes up energy, right? And number 2, another example is what to wear. Right, like when you are going out, it's like, oh my god, what to wear? Like I got so many clothes. Okay, if I wear this with these pants, no, but I wore that last time. No, but it's very hot, so I need to wear this instead of that. But right, and then it becomes like a whole long process of like, yeah, it takes up the time and it takes up so much of your energy that once you actually decide what to wear, you're like, oh my god, I don't feel like it. Right, so those are examples, right? There are many other things, and maybe you can challenge yourself to go and find those things in your life which actually take up a lot of time and a lot of energy, but actually really don't matter so much. And I think this is a funny thing that I didn't realize this was happening until I actually thought through it. And that is, I usually have a very staple like menu of food that I usually eat. And I think even now I'm trying to like, okay, why it's funny, because I like Big Bang Theory. If you like Big Bang Theory, you will know that when they go out to eat, they always have allocated days for certain cuisines, like pizza Mondays and whatever it is. And at first, when I first watched the show, like when I was like younger, I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's so weird. But I realized that I'm actually doing it right now. Like on Mondays, me and my wife will eat sushi. Like it's such an easy. We don't have to think about what we're gonna eat. It's sushi, right? And then Tuesdays, I know I'm gonna eat at home. So whatever food is at home, I'm just gonna eat it, right? Then Wednesdays is a little bit free, right? But usually, if there is no plans, I will either eat at home again, or I'll pick like something in a generic choice range, like either a bento set or like maybe stuffed, right, like a burrito or something. Like I have only a few choices that I can pick from, and that makes my decision so much faster. I just like, okay, that's available, I'm just gonna eat that, right? I know it does not make sense, but I think because I have a lot of things going on, I rather not spend so much energy thinking of like, what am I gonna eat, right? If I have to eat, I'll just be like, okay, one of these things, just go get it, eat, and then carry on with work or whatever it is, right? Same for clothing. Like last time I used to dress up a lot. I think maybe sometimes I do now still, but at this point, if again you have seen me around recently, the number one thing you'll see me wearing is my Nike black singlet, right? It's actually inside this shirt right now. You know the, yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, means you know what I'm talking about, right? And then maybe on top I'll just wear a jersey, like a basketball jersey, an oversized shirt, or Yeah, and for pants, usually I wear Dickies. So either my Dickies Berms, either my long Dickies, or some Nike kind of like what's that pants? I don't know what's it called, but Nike sports pants kind of thing. So again, that is what I usually wear, and now it takes me like less than 3 seconds to figure out what I'm gonna wear for the day. Then I can spend more time thinking about the lesson I'm gonna teach. I can spend more time planning for something else, and blah 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 blah. Right. So those are a few examples, right? So like there are many things in life right now in your routine that actually takes up so much time and so much energy that's really not worth it. Yeah, I think once you hit that phase where you are trying to find more time and you're trying to save as much energy as you can, or you realize you don't have enough energy to do things you really want, that's where you will start realizing that these parts of your life is like just not worth it. The return of your investment is not worth it. You put so much time to find what to eat, you finish your meal in 10 minutes, and it's not that you feel much greater, right? You just maybe feel a bit satisfied. You get a food coma, number one. And number two, yeah, it's just a meal. Or when you wear clothes, right? Sometimes, yes, okay, if you're going out for a really nice event, then spend time thinking. But if you're going for like, I don't know, something menial, right? Then just wear something basic, And I'm not saying don't give an effort, but like style yourself in a way where the basic things that you usually wear is presentable enough, right? Like if I wear this singlet, right, I just need to wear like this shirt over, right? Or I can wear a jersey over. I can wear an oversized shirt over, right? And it fits whatever I'm gonna do. I'm a dancer. I don't have to wear formal stuff, but yeah. So it's about how you then go about streamlining that process. Yeah. Camera died. So yeah, there's one more thing that improved my quality of life. Let's move on to the next thing. And the next thing is, this is very important. This is part of nutrition. So this is your hydration. Hydration actually plays such a big role that, if once you're really properly hydrated, like a lot of your problems are solved. So I get a bit of the science of it, okay? And I'll try to make it short and sweet so I don't drag on too much and I don't lose your attention. So, number one, hydration is the root cause of most headaches. Sorry, dehydration is the root cause for most headaches. So if you have a lot of headaches, right, like here pain, there pain in your head, not concussion pain, but like suddenly in the day, like it's very hot, especially when it's hot, it's already a very clear sign that it's going to be dehydration. Hydrate more because that's going to solve your headaches. Number two, if you're always very tired, it is because of your hydration. Number three, if you're always having weird like cravings here and there, it's also because of hydration. And if you are always unfocused or like can't seem to focus on this, is your hydration. So a lot of things actually come down to your hydration. And the misconception about hydration is that it is just drinking water, but it is not. Water is important, yes, but what you need is the electrolytes from like those kind of isotonic drinks or sports energy drinks kind of stuff, right? Because they have like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and all those different things that your body needs to regulate its water and its hydration, salt levels, etc. Right? So yeah, once I actually took my hydration a little bit more than just drinking water, so things like electrolyte drinks. So I have now those like little sachets of electrolyte powder. I'll just pour it in my water and it will fizz and then you drink it up. It keeps you more refreshed, so you're more focused for whatever it is you're doing. Number Two, it helps in your recovery. So if you're very sporty, you sweat a lot, especially if you sweat a lot, you gotta drink more electrolytes. Yeah. And then best to drink it when you wake up, because you have not drank or eaten anything in your sleep, unless you are a sleepwalker and you go to the fridge and eat stuff. You are very dehydrated in the morning, and that's why you feel very groggy in the morning, is because you are dehydrated, number one. And then you are slow to start up, because when you wake up you just drink water, and that actually dehydrates you more, because now the ratio of water to salt is now even bigger. So it makes you less awake, it makes you more groggy. And yeah, electrolytes are, I think, a very big part in my morning routine right now. Yeah, so one of the few things that I do in the morning right now is drink some electrolyte stuff, so that I replenish the salt from my sleep. And yeah, you feel the difference. It's not a very like kind of like difference, but throughout the day you just feel a little bit more sustainable, and you don't feel as tired if you continuously hydrate through the day. So that's, yeah, one thing that really changed my quality of life. It's hydration, super important. Okay, two more things. Okay, next one is, oh yes, this one y'all will know I do a lot now: sleep and wake up early. So this is for me, okay, and I would maybe say it's also applicable for most of you out there, right? It might be beneficial for most of you out there. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Because you are more productive in the morning than you are at night. Yes. For me at least. Okay, that's why I say might for most of you. So I'll give you an example for my personal experience. When I am home at night, what I would do is watch shows, scroll Instagram or YouTube, or nothing. So those are all unproductive things that accomplish nothing. Then if I were to wake up in the morning, it's not that it's gonna be easier to do things, but the fact that you woke up makes you need to make that waking up worth it. So then you go and do stuff to make yourself productive. So if let's say I take from 9 to 12 p.m. at night, right? Maybe last time I slept at 12 p.m. and then now I sleep at 9 p.m. right? So I now save 3 hours of unproductivity. And let's say last time I woke up at 8 a.m. Now I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. right? So in that 3 hours that I took from my night and I just shift it to the morning, so that 3 hours becomes more productive. Instead of doing nothing, watching shows and everything, yeah, you're resting. But isn't sleep the best rest? Because when you sleep, your body regenerates, your mind unloads things from the day, and you just wake up with more energy ready, right? So it's more of, when I looked at it, was calculating what am I losing to what am I gaining. So I'm losing time watching shows and scrolling Instagram and YouTube and blah 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 blah, and to me that is not important to me. I can lose that, right? And what I gain is then some form of a morning routine, like exercise or stretching, or usually it's those two things, because if I don't do those things, I'll fall back asleep. So I have to do something active so that it keeps me going. Yeah, so if you realize that maybe your nights, the way you spend your nights, is not just like productive, but it's actually also draining you out even more, and that's why you wake up feeling even less energetic and less, refreshed, then taking away time in that night time and then replacing it with time in the morning is something that you can try to explore. It is, number one, gonna take a long time, maybe a few days or maybe even weeks to adjust yourself to sleeping earlier and waking up earlier. And it's going to be tough to even wake up earlier and get stuff done. But if you think about the logic of sacrificing unproductive time for productive time, it's just a no-brainer kind of deal or kind of equation or sacrifice. So yeah, that is something that actually improved my life a lot. After I do my exercises, I'll come back, I'll eat my breakfast, yeah, I'll watch a show or two. But it's more of the, because your day has started, right? You are more strict with like how many shows you can watch because you gotta get on with stuff. Compared to if you're at night, right? At night, it can just go on and on and on and on because you don't have any appointments, you don't have any commitments that are immediately following, that is in the near future. Because the near future is like, what, you have 8 hours of nothing before your work starts, so it can go on and on and on. But if in the morning, let's say you wake up at 6, you go for a 30-minute exercise, it takes you time to get up, so you end at 7, right? Eat your breakfast, you watch a show or two, by then it's about 8. You gotta leave the house for school, for work, and whatever it is. So in that way, you also control the amount of time you have to binge watch and doom scroll and etc. So yeah, that improves your quality of life. And the last one is something related to philosophy or related to perspective of life. And essentially, it is just viewing things as they are. And what this implies is essentially looking at things around you objectively as possible, as objectively as possible. So it's like nothing is good, nothing is bad. So if a bee stings me, it is neither good nor bad. The bee just stung you. Like, it feels bad because it's painful, but if you think about the how the event played out, right? It is just a sequence of events that happened the way it did. That it does not mean anything. There is no good or there's no bad. So what this does is it essentially prevents you from investing too much energy into every little thing that comes by. So you're saving your energy for the things that actually matter, like your job or your relationships or the things you're more passionate about. You now have more energy to channel into those more useful and productive things, rather than like, oh, this is bad, oh, that is bad, oh, I don't like this, oh, that was very good, oh, this happened, oh, that happened, right? I mean, things are just as they are. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, it may come off across as like you don't care, or nothing matters, or it might seem even like very dull. But if you think of it that way, then I think you're not truly understanding what it actually means, right? So I'm not saying that you don't have any emotions to whatever happens around you. I think having emotions is instinctive, and it is automatic, and it is good. Having emotions are good, but choosing to hold on to that emotion when it does not concern you, yeah, that is the part where you start to invest in things that don't really need your investment. So if a bee stings you, it's painful, yes. So if you hold on to that anger to the bee, what does that do for you? Right? Is it gonna unsting you? Is it gonna make the pain less pain? Is it gonna make the bee feel bad? The bee is dead because it stung you, right? So I'm not saying like, oops, sting. Oh, okay. I mean, of course, sting like, oh my god, pain, yeah, wow, pain, 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 pain. But then, like, as fast as you can, just be like, ah, yeah, okay, 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 it's fine. Let's move on, right? Get it treated, do what you need to do to take care of it. But then once that is done, just move on and don't like tell the same story to the next 10 people you meet. Oh, that day I got stung by a bee. Hey, you know what? The bee sucks, yes. It's like, yeah. And even things like having opinions, I started to care less about giving opinions. I mean, if I feel like it is something worth giving an opinion, I would give an opinion. But if it's not, then I would just say, oh, I really don't care. I mean, that is the blunt way that I'll put it. But if not, it's just like, oh, it's like that, lor. It is what it is. It's alright, kind of thing. So I just be as neutral as I can, because I don't want to give unnecessary energy to unnecessary things. And in turn, I can focus all of the energy into things that actually matter, like the people that I want to build connections with, the people I'm working with, and my students, and relationships, and whatever passion I'm working on. I now have more emotions to give into that, rather than being like desensitized and my tolerance being raised because there's so much things happening around that requires so much energy and so much emotions, right? So yeah, I feel that is something that has improved the quality of my life a lot. Like, I feel things more, I won't say greatly or intensely, but I am able to filter and identify, like, and feel like genuine feelings, rather than being, or feelings that I want to feel, rather than feeling things that things make me feel. So is in essence, you're like more in control of your own emotions, because yeah, you just see things as they are, right? Ultimately, we are the ones who give meaning to the things that happen around us, right? One person's misfortune can be another person's, what's that, fortune, right? So it all depends on how we see it, and we got to understand that we are actually the ones who decide whether something is good or bad, not the thing itself, right? Let's say like you lose your phone, right? So you can either see it as, oh, I lost my phone, all my data is gone. Or you can see it as, hey, a new chance to buy a new phone, right? So it really depends on how you want to see it. And I'm on the side of trying to be as neutral as possible. So like, oh, okay lor, move on, what's next, kind of thing. And to me, at least, it has helped me improve my quality of life. So hopefully this is something that y'all can think about. Maybe you can even try these few things, and then on your own also think about how can you improve your quality of life to the goal that you want. So what I mean by that is, my goal for, I won't say it's a goal, but what I'm trying to go for is to be as conscious of what I'm doing as possible. And number one, that whole emotion thing helps me to understand what I'm doing. Being alone and not distracted helps me to be more in tune with what I'm doing. Getting more rest and more productivity done helps me to work on those things more, right? So all these things are in line with what I am trying to work on. So first, you identify what you want to work on, where are you headed, and then what do you need then to optimize or improve in those nuances or those little things, so that you can get there or work on it a little bit more efficiently and more productively. Yeah, so yep, that is it for today. I hope that I was clear enough without a script. I think I would like to do this more because it makes me think like on the spot, and I know there is something that I need to work on, being able to articulate what I want to say in real time. I always am better with writing because it gives me a chance to pick the right words and, you know, phrase it correctly in a way where it is more on the point of what I mean, right? So yeah, I think this is something that I'm challenging myself with. And for those of you who are listening to all these, I think there's something you also understand, like challenging yourself to do things that is tough. I think that's maybe one more thing that improves your quality of life. As much as it sounds like it's going to deprove it because there's so much stress and whatever it is. But yeah, facing hard stuff is one way to build your tolerance to uncomfort and facing difficult times. Yeah. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Peace.